All right, we know the jury selection is underway. This is the penalty phase retrial, the Jodi Arias case. Again, the first jury convicted her of brutally murdering Travis Alexander, stabbing him, shooting him, slitting his throat. But from what we gather, it was 8-4 against the death penalty. What will this jury have to say? And the question I know that you have right now, what's going on inside that courtroom? Jen Woods, a reporter from the Trial Diaries. We're going to talk to her a little bit later, get her firsthand account, going over some of her tweets. She's saying that the jurors are filling out questionnaires, going a little slow. A juror says he watched the trial on TV. 3 more jurors say they cannot erase what they've seen on this trial. 10 more feel they can't be fair. And that's one of the questions here as we continue to get just the color from inside that courtroom. Can you find a fair and impartial jury here to decide really life or death? One other tweet we're finding out, what was Jodi Arias wearing? Well, she comes in a gray sweater, ponytail, and glasses. We have our experts standing by, and again, we're going to continue to monitor what's going on inside that courtroom. My friend and colleague Jane Velez-Mitchell's with us, and I have her book right here, Expose the Secret Life of Jodi Arias. Jane knows this case as well as anyone. Also with us, HLN legal analyst, great criminal defense attorney Joey Jackson. And joining us as well, we welcome back a great criminal defense attorney in his own right, Dwayne Cates. He's in Phoenix, so he's got that firsthand local account as we try and answer the question, can they find a fair and impartial jury? Jane, I'll ask you that to start.
It's going to be hard. I've been watching the tweets from inside the courthouse, and reporter after reporter saying, hey, people are saying to the court that they cannot be impartial, that they cannot erase the gruesome images from their mind. This is a woman who, by her own admission, stabbed Travis Alexander 29 times, slit his throat ear to ear, back down to the spine, sawed him in half, practically decapitated him. The whole world knows this, and the whole world essentially has formed an opinion. It is going to be very, very difficult to find people who are truly impartial. Now, you may get some shadow jurors who say, oh yeah, I can be impartial, but they really have a secret agenda, and it's up to the court to root that out. It's going to be tough.
There you go. Dwayne Cates, you're there in Phoenix. What do you sense? What's been the feeling from people? Because most, come on, they want her head on a platter.
Good morning, Mike. You know, I was at the courthouse this morning. I happened to have a case right across the hall from where they were picking this jury. And so, you know, I got to see the jurors come in. I mean, they were lined up at 7 o'clock this morning before the courthouse even opened to start bringing jurors in. And I've talked to the reporters that are there, and they said that, you know, they went through about 100 people today, and about half of them got thrown out because they said they couldn't be fair and impartial. And, you know, it's going to be tough, but, you know, there are people that didn't watch this that have no idea what happened. So, you know, they're going to go through the process. They've got 3 weeks to do it, and I think they'll be able to get a jury in the end.
There you go. And Joey, to the points made by both Dwayne and Jane, in the sense it's going to take a while, number one. And what about that stealth juror who wants on this to write a book and make a profit off of this?
Yeah, you know, it's a great point, Mike, and there's always a concern about that. However, I think in an age of social media, it helps you to guard against it. Why? Because attorneys on both sides are going to be doing their due diligence. Who has tweeted about this in the past, and what have they said? Who has put anything out there on Facebook in the past, and what have they said? And so, if the attorneys exercise their due diligence by finding out and uncovering if there are any stealth jurors, it's not foolproof by any means, Mike, but certainly it could be preventable.
There you go. And that's one of the tweets from our friend Jen Wood, Jane, who has social media accounts. All hands are up, you know, and that's part of the process now. You know, who said what about this case way back when, and can they be fair and impartial now?
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult, and I got to tell you, we're already hearing that this trial is going to go on even longer than they originally suspected. Now we're hearing it's going to go right up to Christmas week. All right, so is it going to be as long as the original trial where Jodi took the stand for 18 days? And a key question, Mike, is will Jodi take the stand? Now, sources are saying that her defense team doesn't want her to take the stand because the foreperson in the trial during which she was convicted spoke to them and said she's a horrible witness. If you are smart, you will keep her off the stand. But remember, Jodi has a mind of her own, and she has clashed repeatedly with their defense team that has begged the judge to get off the case. So this is just one of the things that they're fighting about. I don't think that the defense team of Kirk Nurmi and Jennifer Wilmot want Jodi Arias to take the stand. But you know Jodi, when she says she isn't going to do something, she does it. She says, oh, I want to represent myself, then, oh, never mind. Oh, death would be the ultimate freedom. I want to die. Oh, never mind. So who knows if she'd take the stand.
There you go. And that could be part of her strategy. She was on the stand 18 days, maybe to connect with one, too. Just a couple more tweets, Dwayne. This from our friend Troy Hayden, who got the first interview with Jodi Arias after the original verdict. Strange watching Jodi Arias' face as juror after juror say they cannot be impartial. And here's another one, even more interesting. Arias looking jurors in the eye as they walk in. Don't you think that was part of her plan, Dwayne, to try and connect in some way, shape, or form with that original jury? And she'll probably try and do it again, don't you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, she's got to appear to be human. I mean, you know, it's hard to put, you know, she wants to be a human being, and they have to look her in the eye and say, you're going to die. And it's really hard for people to do that. And that's what she's trying to do. She's trying to humanize herself. And if they're going to kill her, they're going to have to look her in the eye to do it. And it makes it very difficult.
Joey, weigh in on that. Her trying to connect with a jury.
Yeah, 100% she's trying to, and, you know, Dwayne certainly raises the great point about her trying to be human, but remember, Juan Martinez is going to remind them that what she did was inhumane, and as a result of that, she certainly deserves the death penalty. And you recall, Mike, and you've played it, and I hope you play it again, the whole tape with Juan Martinez looking at her and saying, were you crying then? When you slit his throat, were you crying? When you shot him, were you crying? There it is, and the fact is boy, is he going to remind those jurors, Mike, that she wasn't remorseful then? Why should you believe just she was remorseful now?
Jen Wood, reporter for the Trial Diaries, in court. Jen, tell us what you saw inside that courtroom.
Yes, well, the media today got put in a little tiny closet because we're not supposed to be inside the actual courtroom while jury selection's going on. But we did see Jodi. She's wearing a ponytail, and she is interacting with eye contact with all the potential jurors coming through the door.
There you go. What was her demeanor? I mean, was she trying to be pleasant and, as we have noted, try and humanize herself after what she did to Travis Alexander?
Yes, I think she's going to give off that same demeanor of trying to be pleasant and sweet and a little bit of a smile to the people coming in to make herself look like somebody that they might not want to give the death penalty to.
There you go. Jane, we saw that before, didn't we?
Oh, we sure did. And the question is, does it backfire? Remember, the jury foreperson said that she is a terrible witness and that all her attempts to ingratiate herself with the jurors essentially backfired and didn't help her case. So perhaps she should listen to her attorneys as opposed to following her own instincts. But I am still concerned about the idea of what the family of Travis Alexander is going to have to go through in this penalty phase retrial, because I suspect that Jodi Arias will try to character assassinate Travis Alexander once again and accuse him, like the habitual liar that she is, the pathological liar that she is, of everything under the sun, from beating her, which we know that there was absolutely no evidence of that. She never mentioned it in her journals. There's no 911 calls. There's no hospital records, nothing, to, claims that he was interested in young boys. You remember that travesty. And this is why people are so angry. They're angry at Jodi Arias for a good reason. One, that she assassinated the character of a man who's not here to defend himself. And two, that she took a consensual sex game and tried to turn it into domestic violence, which it was not.
And that was, Joey, remember that allocution and that Survivor T-shirt she was peddling in front of the jury? No one could even believe that.
Absolutely, and it defied credibility. You know, it's easy to trash someone when they're not there to defend themselves, but I think Juan Martinez will remind this jury that the facade that she's putting on to them is the same facade she put on with Travis Alexander, which resulted in his vicious and brutal death. And that's the message that has to resonate. It's about Travis Alexander. It's about justice for him and his family, a life taken so soon and too soon by her. And I'm certain that Juan Martinez will press that point and press that point urgently upon that jury so that justice will prevail.
Yeah, so many of you weighing in the hashtag Justice for Travis. Hey, Jen, what about some of the other main players? Juan Martinez, what was his demeanor like today?
Juan Martinez looked ready for action. He has Detective Flores by his side and another man from the district attorney's office. So he looks ready to go. Kurt Nermy is ready. Jen looked ready. Everybody was back in the courtroom and ready to get back in action.
There you go. All those familiar names. Again, Jen, thanks again.